I already have both a son and a daughter. My ex-boyfriend only informed me about getting married after we broke up 5 years ago, suddenly receiving a call from Lu Zhi. Shen Xinyue, come to the Civil Affairs Bureau in 5 days to get your marriage certificate. Our wedding will be held at the Hill Manor. This is the wedding of the century, I promised you. My brain instantly froze. Shocked, I blurted out, didn't we break up 5 years ago? A scoff came from the other end. Break up? I never agreed. You suddenly came back to the country. Isn't it because you heard I was getting married? Don't worry, the bride is you. As for Susu, I hope you can be generous. She accompanied me during the 1,800 days you were gone. I believe you can treat her well. I rolled my eyes and hung up immediately. I saw several lines of subtitles suddenly appear in front of me. The female lead left silently for 5 years. Even though Lu Zhi acts tough, his heart is actually broken. Lu Zhi released the news that he was going to marry Li Susu, actually to give the female lead a grand wedding. See? As soon as the female lead returns, he comes running. Where was Lu Zhi all this time? Now I have a virtuous husband and children. Who cares about this pile of dog shit? I pressed the power button, throwing the phone that was being bombarded with countless text messages and calls aside. In the middle of the night, I faintly heard continuous knocking on the door. Open the door. Shen Xinyue, how long are you going to be stubborn? The noise was disturbing, so I yanked open the villa door. Lu Zhi stopped short, looking a bit disheveled. His gaze fixed on my face, then scanned my body, scoffing. TSK, without me, you've become this pathetic? I then noticed that the home clothes I hastily threw on were my mother's. The color was a bit old-fashioned, but at least the material was comfortable. I was about to speak when Lu Zhi interrupted. Okay, since you know you were wrong and you're back, I won't hold you responsible for leaving in a fit of pique back then. Lu Zhi changed his tone, his smile slightly restrained. But I can't forgive you for slapping Susu back then. Now that we can get married, it's all thanks to Susu's accomplishment. I hope you can apologize to her. Susu is gentle and kind. She took care of me in the days you were gone. Because of you, I can't give her a title, but I hope you can treat her like a sister. Let's give her a home together. I had 10,000 grass mud horses in my heart, but my face was expressionless. Because I was no longer the little girl from back then, and Lu Zhi was not worthy of me being moved by him again. If I got angry, he would think I was jealous of Li Susu. Lu Zhi, why do you think I can't live without you? Have you ever thought that 5 years is a long time, long enough for me to have gotten married and had children? Lu Zhi's gaze swept over my slender waist, chuckling. Everyone in the circle knows you're my woman, Lu Zhi's woman. You've had a bad temper since you were little, willful and ignorant. Who would tolerate you except me? Xinyue, now your family is declining. Which family would be willing to let you enter as the mistress? Who would marry you except me? Ha. Huh. I found it funny, and I really couldn't help but laugh out loud. Lu Zhi and I were well matched in terms of family background, with a marriage contract arranged since childhood. Although it was a family alliance, we had a good relationship. He once promised to hold a grand wedding of the century for me at Hill Manor after graduation. But before graduation, he killed Li Susu's grandmother in a car accident and was entrusted with her care on her deathbed, and from then on, he had a little tail following him. Li Susu kept provoking me, and finally I couldn't help but slap her. Lu Zhi held her in his arms, looking disappointed. You know how pitiful Susu is. She has lost her only relative. I am her last reliance. Can't you give in to her? In my heart, she is like a sister. You will be her sister-in-law in the future. Can you stop being so petty? It seems that I have spoiled you too much usually. You should calm down. The so-called calming down meant leaving me out in the cold for 3 months, showing affection with Li Susu every day. Everyone knew that he, Lu Zhi, had dumped me for a new love. I left him a message. Let's break up. I went to Paris, France to travel and relax without looking back. I didn't expect that one trip would lead me to meet my current husband. You smiled. I knew you had me in your heart. Otherwise, why would you smile at me? Lu Zhi reached out to caress my face. I dodged sideways and then put away my smile. I'm just naturally fond of smiling. It seems that President Liu has misunderstood. Lu Zhi shook his head helplessly, revealing a doting smile. Xinyue, you're still as naughty as before. Oh well, after we get married, you can't avoid me anymore. How much you love me, I know it clearly. 5 years of waiting, I will definitely return you the most perfect wedding. Seeing that it was getting further and further away from the topic, I stepped on his toes, grinding hard. Taking advantage of Lu Zhi's pain, I quickly closed and locked the door in one go. Unfortunately, I was wearing flat shoes, not high heels. Through the heavy door, I left him with a sentence. Lu Zhi, get out of here. We've been over for a long time. Subtitles appeared again. Good news. The male lead grew a mouth. Bad news. Why did the male lead grow such a mouth? It's better to make him mute with poison. Finally know why the female lead baby ran away. He deserves to be a bachelor for life. I even want to slap the male lead in the face. Let the female lead be beautiful alone, please. Lu Zhi looked at the shoe print on his foot, but revealed an expression that he had seen through me. Okay, since you're shy, I won't go in today. Tomorrow I'll send someone to bring you the wedding dress. You can try it on to see if it fits. Susu picked the wedding dress, and it fits her just right. You girls have similar aesthetics and you don't look fat, so you should be able to wear it. My upbringing didn't allow me to curse. I suddenly regretted refusing that person's company. It really was a terrible decision to come back to the country alone first. I couldn't help but kick the door, signaling him to shut up. Lu Zhi frowned. Shen Xinyue, you really need to change your temper. You can't be like this when you become the mistress of the Lu family. It's not presentable. You have to learn this from Susu. The family's business has indeed been declining in the past 2 years. My parents are old, and after the family's business was fully managed by professional managers, my parents also came to me to enjoy family happiness. Therefore, at this moment, there is no one in the villa except me. Otherwise, I would have asked someone to drive him away long ago. Lu Zhi, Li Susu is so good. Why don't you marry her? I said this sincerely. I have to admit that they are quite a match. What kind of pot goes with what kind of lid, just don't come to harm me. Lu Zhi's laughter came from outside the door again. Xinyue, you're jealous again. I've told you so many times, I only have you in my heart. I won't respond to Susu's love. Just obediently wait to put on the wedding dress and be my bride. Listening to the fading footsteps, I felt a sense of futility, like playing the lute to a cow. Oh well, in a few days, Mom and Dad will return to China with the kids, and that person will come with them too. Once Lu Zhi sees them, he naturally won't bother me anymore. The next morning, the Lu family indeed sent over a wedding dress. It came in a gift box, but I didn't open it. Having already worn a unique, custom-made wedding dress, who would care about a second-hand one that someone else had tried on? I accepted the gold-lettered invitation from Lu Zhi's assistant, Shen Xinyue. Looking at the bride's side, the 3 words Li Susu were printed, then crossed out and replaced with Shen Xinyue. I laughed and threw the invitation back at Shen Xinyue. Assistant Shen, I think you've got the wrong person. Send the wedding dress to Miss Li. I'm sure she'll be thrilled. Shen Xinyue's face changed drastically. Miss Shen, this wedding was supposed to be between Lu Zhi and Miss Li in the first place. You're the one who barged in and made Lu Zhi change his mind, and now you're pretending to be innocent. I really don't understand what Lu Zhi sees in you. He's hurting such a kind and beautiful girl like Miss Li for your sake. Sure enough, association with the bad corrupts good manners. Being stupid is contagious. I ignored Shen Xinyue's yelping behind me and strode away. Having been away for so many years, I really missed Yanting's private cuisine. Maybe I've just been unlucky lately, but my car broke down halfway, so I took a taxi to the entrance of Yanting. As I got out, I saw Lu Zhi just opening his car door. He raised an eyebrow. You returned the wedding dress I sent you, and then you followed me to Yanting. Shen Xinyue, can you stop being so hypocritical? I know you care about me, but this kind of stalking is despicable. You mind Susu's existence, but if I wanted to be with Susu, I would have been with her a long time ago. I rolled my eyes and walked past him towards the entrance of Yanting. Lu Zhi jogged 2 steps and grabbed my arm. Shen Xinyue, stop pretending. I just saw you arrive in a taxi. Is the Shen family bankrupt? Are you so poor now that you can't even afford a car? It's not that I look down on you, but you're not even qualified to spend money at Yanting right now. If you're trying to put on a brave face, don't come begging me for money later when you can't pay. Although my family's business wasn't as good as it had been in previous years, it wasn't to the point where I couldn't afford a meal. Just because he saw me take a taxi, he assumed my family was about to go bankrupt? I couldn't understand Lu Zhi's thought process. Releasing my clenched fists, I tried to keep my voice calm. I think you should eat more walnuts. Lu Zhi smiled knowingly again. You still remember that I like to eat walnuts? Fine, I won't argue with you about it this time. It's good that you're here. I invited my brothers today, and Susu is here too. Since everyone is here, you can apologize to her, and all the previous misunderstandings can disappear. I withdrew the foot I had stepped into Yanting. No thanks. Even the best food would be unappetizing with his face around. As I turned around, a figure blocked my path. Sister, why do you want to leave when you see me? Li Susu had shed her past frugality, dressed like a young heiress, and wearing high heels that barely brought her to my height. She looked at Lu Zhi with a slightly aggrieved expression, then turned to me. Is sister angry about the invitation? You've been gone for 5 years, and Gigi suddenly said he wanted to get married. Everyone assumed I was the bride, so they printed the wrong name. If you want to blame someone, blame me. I couldn't control my feelings. Although it was only 5 years together, it was unforgettable for me. Since Gigi loves you, I'm willing to give him back to you. As she said this, Li Susu shed a tear of heartbreak. Susu, don't cry. Lu Zhi tenderly embraced Li Susu and glared at me. Shen Xinyue, I thought you had changed for the better, but I didn't expect you to still be so unreasonable. I haven't even said a word yet, and she's already crying. I met Lu Zhi's gaze, my eyes icy cold. Lu Zhi paused for a moment, his tone softening. Xinyue, you've lived in a wealthy family since you were a child. Susu's background is pitiful, and you don't understand her inner sensitivity. Even though you haven't said anything, your attitude is enough to hurt her. I hope you can apologize to Susu. After all, you're the older sister. You should take care of her, your younger sister. I gave a cold smile. Who's your sister? I'm an only child. Please don't try to claim kinship. Also, did I cause her pitiful background? I remember it was clearly you who killed. Shut up. Lu Zhi looked disappointed. Shen Xinyue, if you still want to marry into the Lu family, stop making trouble. Lu Zhi, what's so good about Shen Xinyue? She ran off to a foreign country without a word 5 years ago and hasn't been heard from since. You drank yourself silly for her every day. If Susu hadn't found out early, you would have had a stomach perforation. Yeah, Lu Zhi, we've all seen how good Susu is to you. She's waited for you for 5 years, and we only recognize her as our sister-in-law. Shen Xinyue, if I were you, I wouldn't even have the face to stand here. You're acting like a saint. You abandoned Lu Zhi back then, and now you can't stand Lu Zhi and Susu being happy, so you're deliberately trying to ruin them. It's disgusting. Lu Zhi's bunch of cronies, seeing that he and Li Susu hadn't gone into the private room yet, came out to look for them and stumbled upon the three of us confronting each other, immediately uniting to denounce me. Li Susu shrunk into Lu Zhi's arms, her eyes red-rimmed, with that tear that was about to fall still clinging to the corner of her eye. She took off the bracelet on her wrist and reluctantly handed it to me. Sister, this is the bracelet my aunt gave me. She said only the Lu family's daughter-in-law is qualified to wear it. Today, I'll return it to its rightful owner. Lu Zhi stopped her and put the bracelet back on her wrist. My mom gave it to you, so it's yours. Don't wrong yourself. Li Susu smiled, her face filled with happiness, then froze, because she heard Lu Zhi say, you don't have to worry about Xinyue. I bought a piece of top-quality jadeite and planned to make it into a bracelet for her as compensation. My face also froze. I took a deep breath and said, word by word, I'm married, and I have 2 children. The surroundings were silent. Lu Zhi slowly released Li Susu and walked towards me. Shen Xinyue, stop playing such jokes. You shouldn't tell such a big lie, even if you're acting out of spite. I checked a long time ago. Your marital status is unmarried, and there's no way you could have children. Or, are you saying that you ran off with a bun in the oven 5 years ago and gave birth to my children? Lu Zhi's brothers burst into laughter. Li Susu stomped her feet secretly in anger. I silently pulled out my phone, intending to show them my 2 adorable little ones. As if telepathically connected, a video call came through. I answered, and 2 identical, chubby, white dumplings appeared on the screen. Mommy. 2 milky, childish voices rang out simultaneously, immediately drawing everyone's attention. Lu Zhi's breath hitched. He snatched my phone away, staring intently at the 2 little people on the screen. They looked to be only 2 years old. Definitely not 5. Who are you, uncle? Can you give the phone back to mommy? The older twin asked, puzzled, staring at the strange uncle on the other side. Lu Zhi's breathing was rapid, his hands trembling. Who is your mother? Mommy is mommy. The older twin replied, confused. Brother is silly. Mommy's name is Yu. The younger twin exclaimed, waving her small pink fists. Thud, the phone fell to the ground, the screen instantly going black. The online comments exploded. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Did the male lead get cheated on? If this is a runaway with the baby plot, the kids would have to be 4 or 5 years old at least, so you know what that means to. Stop guessing, everyone. Did you forget this is a chasing wife crematorium novel? The kids are just obstacles designed by the author to hinder the chase. Maybe it's a test for the male lead. These 2 babies are so cute, like glutinous rice balls. Annie wants to give them a kiss. My mind was solely on the suddenly interrupted video. Were Big Treasure and Little Treasure scared and crying? I picked up the phone, constantly trying to turn it on, but no matter how much I pressed, the screen remained black. Seeing Lu Zhi standing to the side, lost in torment, I slapped him across the face. Smack, crisp and loud. Lu Zhi stared at me in disbelief. Shen Xinyue, you dare hit me? For 2 bastards, you actually hit me? Smack, I slapped him again. Lu Zhi grabbed my wrist, his eyes filled with a darkness that wouldn't dissipate. You're so impatient, aren't you? We barely separated, and you already hooked up with some random guy. Tell me, who is it? Who dares to touch my woman? I'll make him wish he were dead. Looking at the hysterical man before me, I suddenly felt very bored. Belated affection is cheaper than grass, especially this kind of disgusting so-called affection. Seeing that I didn't speak, Lu Zhi seemed to realize something and looked at me with disdain. Shen Xinyue, don't tell me you were tricked by someone outside, gave birth to two bastards and got dumped. Li Susu also seized the opportunity, taking Lu Zhi's other hand. Sister, how can you be so unchaste? Zhigage has been waiting for you for 5 years. Is this how you repay him? How can you be worthy of Zhigage like this? I originally thought giving you two my blessing would make Zhigage happy, but now it seems I won't let go. Lu Zhi's group of buddies also chimed in to advise him. Lu Zhi, you can't want this kind of shameless woman. Marrying her would be a joke to the Lu family. Let her go. Only Susu's deep affection is worthy of Lu Zhi's carefully prepared wedding of the century. Lu Zhi closed his eyes, his brow furrowed, then relaxed after a moment. He released my wrist, tossed me aside, and instead took Li Susu's hand, interlacing his fingers with hers. 3 days from now, I invite everyone to the Hill Manor to attend my wedding with Susu. Li Susu's face flushed red with excitement, and she gave me a triumphant look, as if saying, see? You can't beat me. Lu Zhi also looked at me, his eyes full of complex emotions. Xinyue, the person I originally wanted to walk down the aisle with was you, but you didn't cherish it and messed around outside. Our Lu family can't accept a mistress of the house like you. So, the promise from back then, I can't fulfill it. Although all of this is your own fault, I ultimately can't let you go. He sighed, his voice tinged with bitterness. You and I have been childhood sweethearts. I never imagined things would come to this. You assumed I have you in my heart and can't do anything to you, right? Shen Xinyue, you have no heart. But why, oh why, can't I let you go? Lu Zhi murmured, his voice choked up. Shen Xinyue, you're no longer worthy of being my wife, but I'm willing to reserve a place for you, as long as you send those two bastards away. I can accept you again. Susu is understanding, kind, and generous. As long as you don't cause trouble, she'll definitely tolerate you. I almost laughed out of anger. How much face does he have to ask me to be his mistress? Jealousy flashed across Li Susu's eyes, but she feigned magnanimity and said, Sister, this is your last chance. As long as you're willing to turn over a new leaf and serve Zhigage well with me, I'm willing to accept you despite our past. A black line slid down my forehead. First, I won't send my children away, and I don't want anything to do with President Lu. Second, Miss Li, please stop being hostile towards me. I don't want to fight you for a man. Please don't pretend to call me sister. Aren't you tired of acting like this? Third, I sincerely wish you two a happy marriage and may you have children soon. Lu Zhi believed that I was just being stubborn. He tried to be patient. All right, stop standing at the door. Let's go inside the private room. Xinyue, you love the FO Tiao Chong and squirrel fish at Yenting the most. I'll order them all for you later, so stop being stubborn with me. My patience is limited. Comments flew across the screen. I think the plot is going a little weird. The male lead doesn't seem to understand human language. It's not just the male lead who doesn't understand human language. The female supporting character and the male lead's group of brothers all don't understand human language. I suddenly feel that the female lead is suffering too much. It must be tiring for a normal person to be with a group of mentally ill people. I was indeed very tired. I certainly couldn't beat this group of people. Talk. How can you communicate with people who don't understand human language? Call for help? My phone is broken. I turned around and left. Li Susu's voice was filled with glee. Why did sister leave? Is she unhappy with Zhigage's arrangements? Humph. She's too ashamed to come. Never mind her, let's eat ourselves. Later, have Chen Xian pack a portion of what she likes and send it over. Lu Zhi's voice floated into my ears, and I couldn't help but quicken my pace. By the time I got home, the sun had already set. Chen Xian was waiting in front of my house. Seeing me get out of the car, he placed a packed lunch on the ground, blocking my path. The packaging bag had Yenting printed on it. I could smell a rich aroma through the bag. Take it away, I said coldly. Chen Xian's face was full of disdain. Miss Shen, you're just President Lu's mistress now. What right do you have to disobey him? I advise you to obediently pick up the food on the ground and not displease President Lu anymore. Otherwise, you won't even get this little bit of charity. Get lost. I kicked the packaging box away, didn't even glance at him, and walked straight into the villa. The next day, I found a familiar gilded invitation placed at the door. It seemed Chen Xian left it yesterday. Groom. Lu Zhi. Bride. Li Susu. I held my hand to my forehead. Does Lu Zhi really want me to attend his wedding that much? Then so be it. Hill Manor covered nearly 10,000 acres, surrounded by mountains on three sides and facing the sea on one, with beautiful scenery like a fairy tale world. My dream used to be to have a dreamy wedding at Hill Manor. That wish had long been fulfilled, and that person even bought Hill Manor and gave it to me as a wedding gift. From that day on, I opened Hill Manor for free weddings for couples in love. However, I only allowed one couple per month, and those with fate could draw the opportunity. After I sent someone to investigate, I found that someone inside had taken money and secretly manipulated the process to give the opportunity to Lu Zhi. I instructed the person in charge of Hill Manor to arrange it as usual, ensuring Lu Zhi would have an unforgettable wedding. 2 days passed in a flash, and on the wedding day, I arrived at Hill Manor with my bodyguards. The wedding area was on the island in the center of the lake. The bodyguards had already gone in ahead of time, mingling with the crowd. The waiter at the entrance looked at the invitation in my hand and stopped me directly. Miss Shen, this invitation is specially made. The bride specifically instructed that you must wait outside until the ring exchange ceremony is completed before you can enter the inner field. Was Li Susu trying to set rules for me? I kept walking inside without stopping, and the waiter chased after me, wanting to grab me. Are you sure you want to grab my clothes? This haute couture dress I'm wearing is worth 3 million. When the waiter heard the price, he didn't dare to stop me and retreated to the entrance, terrified. There were quite a few people attending the wedding on the entire island in the center of the lake, gathering in twos and threes, discussing business or chatting and laughing. Li Susu had been feeling her eyelids twitching all morning. Although she had already instructed the waiter not to let me enter, she had been paying attention to the entrance. As soon as I stepped into the inner field, her gaze was glued to me. Which young lady is that? She looks so elegant. She's so beautiful, even more dazzling than today's bride. Seeing everyone's attention focused on me, ignoring that she was the protagonist today, Li Susu was so angry that her teeth itched. She rushed in front of me. How did you get in? I retorted. Didn't you invite me? Li Susu raised her voice. I clearly told. Why are you afraid of me coming in? Could it be that if I come, Lu Zhi will give up marrying you? She was choked by me, her face a little ugly. How could I be afraid of you? I just think you're not worthy of coming to tarnish my pure wedding with Brother Zhi. Someone, get her out of here. 2 security guards walked towards me, immediately recognizing my identity. Because I had given them a heads up in advance, they didn't reveal my identity. But they wouldn't listen to Li Susu and kick me out. What a joke. Who would dare to kick the boss out? Seeing the two of them not moving, Li Susu was furious. What's wrong with you two? I order you to kick her out. Immediately, right now. Otherwise, I'll have you pack your bags and leave immediately. Ms. Li, I think you've misunderstood. We are Hill Manor staff, and we are not subject to your deployment. Li Susu's face turned green, and then red. Do you know the Lu group? I'm Lu's future wife. How dare you be disrespectful to me? I'll make you regret it. Ms. Li, please don't disturb the order. Otherwise, we have the right to take back the venue and blacklist the Lu group and never cooperate again. Enough. What do you look like in public? The commotion here was not small. Lu Zhi saw Li Susu arguing with the manor security and immediately came over to stop her. It seems your background is ultimately a shortcoming, short-sighted. Don't you know that after today, your words and deeds represent the Lu family? I hope you can integrate into high society sooner rather than later, and don't embarrass the Lu family. Seeing that Lu Zhi was really angry, Li Susu cautiously tugged at his sleeve. Brother Zhi, I didn't mean it. It's all these security guards' fault for being disobedient. Lu Zhi covered her mouth, his face gloomy. Be careful what you say. The power behind this Hill Manor is said to be the Pei family. Li Susu's face suddenly turned pale. That legendary Pei family? That's right. The head of the top families in Hua country, the Pei family. Now you know why I told you not to talk nonsense. If we offend the Pei family, our small Lu group is insignificant in front of the Pei family. Hearing Lu Zhi seriously educating Li Susu about the Pei family, I couldn't help but chuckle. Lu Zhi looked at me, and in the next second, a look of amazement appeared in his eyes. Xinyue, you look so beautiful today. Li Susu coughed lightly, and he came back to his senses. I'm getting married today. Sadly, the bride is not you. But in my heart, I have always put you in the most important position. You say you don't care, but I know you love me in your heart too. Otherwise, with your temper, you wouldn't have come today at all. I made a stop gesture and said with a fake smile, if you have to think that way, I can't help it. But I'm very glad that I didn't enter your Lu family's door. Just as I was about to turn around and leave, 2 little children ran over like small rubber balls muttering, Mommy, Debeo and Xiaobao are here. A smile brighter than any in recent days appeared on my face. I squatted down and hugged the 2 little dumplings, one on each side, and kissed each of their foreheads. Debeo, Xiaobao. Who brought you here? Grandma did. The 2 little guys said in unison. Only then did I see my mother chasing after them, out of breath. You two little ancestors, slow down. I was just about to ask where the kid's dad was when I heard Lu Zhi ask, Annie, has Xinyue really gotten married? My mother probably felt a little speechless, but Lu Zhi was someone she had watched grow up since he was a child. He was quite promising when he was younger, and she thought highly of Lu Zhi as a future son-in-law, but she didn't know how one day Lu Zhi suddenly went astray. After what happened 5 years ago, my mother naturally disliked Lu Zhi very much because she felt sorry for me. Yes, she's married. Her tone was indifferent. I thought Lu Zhi would have a little self-awareness and leave, but who knew he would take a step closer, and in front of my mother, his eyes turned red. Auntie, don't help Xinyue deceive me. Even if we've been separated for 5 years, Xinyue and I still love each other deeply. I hope you can help us. My mother was taken aback and her mind raced. Lu Zhi, have you gone crazy? Today is your wedding day with that what's her name Susu. What are you dragging my daughter into? If you don't want your face, we still do. Daydreaming in broad daylight. You actually dare to dream of my daughter being your mistress? Who dares to covet my wife? The tone was calm, but it carried a pressure that reached everyone's ears. The screen suddenly went crazy with comments. Holy crap, what's going on? It feels like the big boss has appeared. Didn't you guys notice? The male lead's mark on Lu Zhi has disappeared. Why has the male lead's name changed to Pei Sahan? Pei Sahan, my husband, approached with steady steps, step by step. He reached out and pulled me into his arms, gently stroking my waist as if to declare his ownership. Who is he? Lu Zhi's expression changed drastically, and he jumped out to question me. The answer was so obvious, yet he still wouldn't give up and asked me again. I gently tugged at Pei Sahan's tie, and he chuckled softly, lowering his head proactively. Looking at his thin lips so close to me, I kissed him. A flush rose on my cheeks, and after my breathing calmed, I introduced him to Lu Zhi, my husband, Pei Sahan. Lu Zhi's pupils shrank, as if he had heard something unacceptable.
No.
Xinyue, is he forcing you? The only person you've ever loved is me, right? I will definitely snatch you back from him. As he said that, a scarlet hatred burst from Lu Zhi's eyes, like a sharp knife stabbing towards Pei Sahan. Lu Zhi, you're wrong. Our fate ended 5 years ago. Now, there's only one person in my eyes and in my heart, and that is Pei Sahan. I moved slightly, blocking Pei Sahan, and I heard him chuckle softly twice, hugging me even tighter. I breathed a sigh of relief. The guy behind me was a big jealous pot. If he started thinking wildly, I was afraid I would be tormented terribly tonight. Lu Zhi's body stiffened, and he roared, I don't believe it. Unless you prove it to me. Daddy, this uncle is so scary, like a monster that eats children. Dabao clung to Pei Sahan's leg, peeking out from behind him. Brother, how many times have I told you, there are no monsters in the world. His symptoms should be what Dr. Wang called mental illness. Xiao Bao raised his little head, pointing a finger at Lu Zhi's nose. Pei Sahan chuckled. Do I even need to prove it? Dabao and Xiao Bao were practically miniature versions of Pei Sahan. Anyone with eyes could see that we were a family of four. Seeing that Lu Zhi was still fixated on me, Li Susu moved closer and hugged his arm, tears welling up in her eyes. Brother she's already colluding with some wild man outside to embarrass you. Are you going to let her continue to trample on your sincerity? It's the first time someone has called me a wild man. Pei Sahan said with a smile that wasn't a smile. Could it be that I've been away from China for too long, and no one remembers my name anymore? The crowd around suddenly stirred. Oh my god. He is the legendary Pei Sahan, the powerful head of the Pei family. I once had the honor of seeing President Pei from afar. This whole aura, it's him. That outstanding Miss Shen is actually President Pei's wife. They're such a good match. Lu Zhi's face stiffened, and he kept muttering, this is impossible, impossible. He took steps back continuously, and with a crash, he knocked over the 8-tiered champagne tower behind him. The glasses fell one after another, champagne splashed everywhere, and shards of glass flew. Lu Zhi was drenched in champagne from head to toe, looking extremely disheveled. You wicked son. Are you trying to ruin the Lu family? The Lu family was just handed over to you, and you've already caused such a big disaster for me. Hurry up and apologize to President Pei. Father Lu was about to be angered to death by Lu Zhi. He had only been away for a moment, and he had offended this Buddha, the Pei family. President Pei, my son's eyes failed to recognize Mount Tai. Please be generous and forgive him this time. Dad, don't beg him. He's just an imposter. Slap. Father Lu used all his strength, leaving a purplish-blue palm print on Lu Zhi's face. You scoundrel, kneel down. Apologize to President Pei and Madam Pei. Father Lu's attitude made it impossible for Lu Zhi to deceive himself any longer. His legs weakened, and he knelt in front of us, his eyes full of humiliation, his face ashen. President Pei, Madam Pei, I was blind. I offended you too. Please forgive me. That's enough. Don't ever appear in front of me again. I said these words indifferently and took Pei Sahan and the two children to leave. My original plan was to reveal my identity and slap them in the face during the wedding, driving these two out of Hill Manor. I didn't expect Pei Sahan to return to the country early and appear here, and Father Lu, fearing the Pei family, forced Lu Zhi to kneel and apologize. My purpose was also achieved. Now Lu Zhi is just an insignificant clown in my eyes, and I am too lazy to care about what happens to him. Susu threw herself into Lu Zhi's arms, looking distressed. Brother Zhi, you still have me. I will always be with you. As long as you turn around, I'll be behind you. The speakers on both sides of the venue, which were originally playing piano music, suddenly emitted a crackling noise. The next second, Susu's voice came from the speakers. Shen Xinyue? So, what if she has a good background? Isn't she still my loser? Lu Zhi believes me with just a few tears, and she can only sneak away and go abroad. That idiot Lu Zhi really thinks I love him to death. If it wasn't because his family was rich, I wouldn't bother acting with him in order to marry into the Lu family. Ha ha ha, it's so funny. He even thinks my grandma was killed by him. I had been eyeing him for a long time, and I let my grandma stage an accident. I didn't expect to meet a sucker. Who else would I cheat if not him? Lu Zhi seemed to have been struck by lightning. He grabbed Li Susu's wrist, his fingernails digging deeply into Li Susu's flesh. Your gentleness, your kindness were all fake. You bitch. You've been deceiving me and using me for money all this time. Li Susu cried, looking like a pear blossom in the rain. She shook her head constantly. It's not like that, Brother Zhi. All of this is Shen Xinyue's scheme to frame me. Have you forgotten the 5 years we spent together? My love is not fake. Lu Zhi didn't want to listen to her sophistry any longer and roared. You're still laughing at me in your heart for being an idiot, right? Being played around by you, this bitch. If you hadn't provoked and alienated us, how could I have had a misunderstanding with Xinyue? Without you, Xinyue wouldn't have left me. Li Susu's hand was almost broken by Lu Zhi. She struggled desperately but couldn't break free. She was stimulated by the malice in Lu Zhi's eyes, and she stopped pretending, scoffing. That's right, you are an idiot. If you hadn't been born into a good family, do you think I would have looked at you? I've coaxed you for 5 years, even a dog would have been moved by me, but you were flirting with me while still thinking about marrying Shen Xinyue. Lu Zhi, you're so disgusting. Shut up. Shut up. Lu Zhi grabbed Li Susu's neck, going crazy. Li Susu was almost suffocated, her long fingernails constantly scratching at Lu Zhi. In order to break free, she used all her strength to kick Lu Zhi in the groin. Ugh. Lu Zhi was kicked in a sensitive area, his temples throbbing with pain. He flung Li Susu into the pile of broken glass from the toppled champagne tower. Li Susu's exposed skin was instantly lacerated, and she writhed on the ground in agony, each movement causing more injuries. With a wave of my hand, the security personnel immediately stepped forward to restrain the enraged Lu Zhi. Why stop them? Isn't dog eat dog amusing? Pei Sahan squeezed my hand and whispered in my ear. I felt a bit helpless. I had already guessed that he was behind the exposure of Li Susu's true colors. This is where we got married. Don't make a mess. Pei Sahan looked pleased, seemingly satisfied with my answer, but said, I hope it's not because you can't bear to see your ex-boyfriend. I chuckled. Is he worth your jealousy? I don't just care about anyone. I knew my wife only has eyes for me. He lowered his head and captured my lips. My mom quickly covered the children's eyes. Oh my, how embarrassing, De Bao and Xiao Bao shouldn't watch. At this moment, comments popped up in the live stream. I remember in the original story, Shen Xinyue forgave Lu Zhi, and they lived happily ever after together. Lu Zhi is clearly the male lead. How could he be written off like this? He doesn't deserve to be the male lead, that scumbag. The author must have changed the story. Pei Sahan and the female lead are a perfect match. Help. My head is full of the sweet kiss of the couple just now. I'm sitting on my little stool, waiting for the spicy scenes to follow, haha. Agreed +1, agreed +2, agreed plus 10,086. The restrained Lu Zhi suddenly trembled all over, as if he had seen something unbelievable. His eyes were dazed, and then he seemed to grasp some crucial information, a light bursting forth in his eyes. Ha ha ha, I am the male lead. I am the male lead. Lu Zhi laughed wildly, a surge of power rising within him, breaking free from the constraints, rushing in front of Pei Sahan and me. The bodyguards swarmed forward, blocking Lu Zhi. Pei Sahan, I am the chosen one, the master of this world. You get out of here. Lu Zhi was smug and then said to me, Xinyue, come here, I can forgive you this time. I realized Lu Zhi could also see the live stream comments. Leave it to me. Pei Sahan put away the smile he wore for me, looked at Lu Zhi, his eyes icy. The two men faced each other, Lu Zhi like a rabid beast, charging towards Pei Sahan. Pei Sahan's expression didn't change. He calmly raised his leg and kicked Lu Zhi away. Lu Zhi got up. Pei Sahan kicked again. Get up, kick. Lu Zhi lay on the ground panting like a dead dog, while Pei Sahan's shoe was firmly planted on his face. Shen Xinyue's male lead can only be me. Get lost. Pei Sahan released his foot, wiped his hand with a tissue, and threw it on Lu Zhi's face. I belatedly realized. Honey, you can see them too? Sure. Pei Sahan smiled mysteriously and said in a voice only we could hear, they say, they want to see spicy scenes. I covered his mouth, threatening him with my eyes. I'll deal with you when we get home. But in the end, I didn't get to deal with him. Instead, I was pinned down and dealt with by him. The next day, I rubbed my sore waist, eating the loving breakfast Pei Sahan made himself. He casually mentioned that after we left, Susu mocked Lu Zhi for being a stray dog, and he furiously scratched her face with glass, and the police eventually took both of them away. The farce came to an end. Not long after, the Lu group was heavily in debt and on the verge of bankruptcy. Lu's father denounced his unfilial son and removed Lu Zhi from the family. Susu sued Lu Zhi for intentional injury, and Lu Zhi sued Susu for fraud, and both were imprisoned. I looked at Pei Sahan with his arm around my waist, Dabao hugging my left leg, and Xiao Bao hugging my right leg. Husband, children, and a warm bed. This life is enough.